I am the console king. And right now I got 10 reasons that I can come up with as to why Skyrim is a much better game than The Witcher 3. Now, 2015 Game Awards, Witcher 3 won Game of the Year, which was a total outrage. Completely overrated, did not deserve Game of the Year. Fallout 4 was obviously a much better game than The Witcher 3. And there were other games that came out in 2015 that deserved that spot more than The Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is probably one of the most overrated games of all time, gets nothing but high praise that it doesn't deserve. Now, not to say that The Witcher 3 is like the worst game ever, and it's an abysmal game. I'm not trying to say that necessarily. What I'm trying to say is that people seem to compare Witcher 3 to Skyrim and saying that Witcher 3 is a much better game than Skyrim, and that's just not true. It's false. It's BS. And I got 10 reasons to prove it. Number 1, better map. Skyrim is a much better map than the world of Witcher. This is obvious. Very, 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 very obvious. You got Whiterun, Solitude, and you got all these different cities, which is better than any of the towns in The Witcher. It's just, this is obvious. Anyone who thinks that The Witcher 3 is a better world than Skyrim is a fool. You got the snowy mountains in Skyrim, and you have certain areas that are kind of like, you have Riften, which is kind of like fall, and you have the ruins of Winterhold, which isn't the best part of the map. Not necessarily. It's probably one of the weaker parts. It's very disappointing. I will admit that Winterhold's very disappointing. But man, Solitude beats anything. Beats anything in the Witcher world. Whiterun is the best city in the game because of its location, and it's got all. It's just my favorite city in the game. You got all these great cities and great locations in Skyrim. It just beats anything in The Witcher. So better map for sure. So the second reason as to why Skyrim's a better game is to The Witcher is that it's a better expansion. Has better expansions. So what I mean by that is that Dawnguard, Hearthfire, and Dragonborn are better than the expansions of The Witcher. What happens in the Witcher expansions is that they pretty much add more quests or whatever to the game, but they don't really change the gameplay all that much. Skyrim, however, does. Maybe not necessarily Dragonborn doesn't change the gameplay necessarily because you just have a new world space and you have more areas to explore than the base game, and you have a new storyline with Mirak and shit. But it still is better than anything that's in The Witcher. And Dawnguard expands upon the werewolf and vampire gameplay and actually makes it more fun. So being a vampire was cool in the base game of Skyrim, but it was not as fun as it could be. But Dawnguard fixed that. You had a special skill tree just dedicated to vampirism, and it was sick. It was amazing. I always picked the vampires over the Dawnguard in the Dawnguard storyline because being a vampire lord is just badass. It's more fun than being a werewolf. Not that being a werewolf isn't fun, but man, it's just the comparison is you can't even compare the two. Turn into a giant vampire lord, just you're OP as fuck. You get to destroy shit. You get to resurrect shit, and you could be a fucking beast playing as a vampire lord. And man, I always have fun playing as that all the time. So that's why they have better expansions, and also Hearthfire. You can build your own house, and you can do all these other things, which changes the gameplay and adds a whole bunch of replay value to Skyrim than the base game. So overall, the expansions are much better than any expansions in The Witcher. Not to say that the Witcher expansions are terrible, but in terms of the amount of value that is added to the game, the Skyrim expansions just kick the shit out of the Witcher ones. So the third reason as to why Skyrim is a better game than The Witcher 3, character creation. You cannot create your own character in The Witcher. You're stuck with Geralt. You can't really change the look of Geralt that much. You can a little bit, but not really as much as you want to. Because the point of playing an RPG game is that you're able to customize your own character and create your own character and create your own, story for your character pretty much. That's what an RPG game is at heart. And Bethesda games always let you do this. You can choose your own character, you can choose how your character looks, and you can customize it. And also, it's just, it makes the game feel more immersive because you can create your character and he's in the world, and it's not you can't compare it to The Witcher 3 where you could just play as Geralt and that's it. Skyrim, you can choose how your character looks, you can choose a whole bunch of other things. It's just great. It's amazing. Which kind of ties it into the fourth reason as to why Skyrim is better. More role playing, which I kind of talked about that a little bit, but specifically meaning that you can choose your own race. You could be, Imperial, Dark Elf, Nord, Breton. You can pick which part of Tamriel you're from, and your own story and whatnot. And it's just there's so much more role playing elements to the game. You can choose your own builds. You can choose a whole bunch of other things that you can't really do in The Witcher. It's just how do I put this? Less linear, Skyrim, which is the fifth reason as to why Skyrim is better than The Witcher. It's less linear. The reason why Skyrim is less linear than The Witcher is because not just the fact that you can only play as Geralt and you can't really do that much else, but you have so many different ways to play the game in Skyrim compared to The Witcher. You can play as a mage, exclusively mage, and only use magic. You can, one-handed, two-handed archery. You can have all these different things. You can, be specifically skilled in alchemy and all these other different things in the skill tree. And not just that, but you can choose the kind of character you have, meaning you can, choose to be part of the Dark Brotherhood, be an assassin, or be a member of the Thieves Guild. You could be a thief. College of Winterhold, which is the Mages Guild, and the Companions, the Fighters Guild, or whatever the hell you want to call it. You can be a mercenary for hire. You just have all these different things you could do in Skyrim, and you can't really do those things in Witcher 3 that much. It's pretty much they tell you the story. Not saying you can't explore the world and that the world isn't huge and that you can't do a lot of things in Witcher, but it's a lot more linear, and you kind of have more of a set goal in The Witcher than you do in Skyrim. So that's another reason why Skyrim is better. Also, I talked about mages and magic. Yeah, the magic in Skyrim is much better than it is in The Witcher 3. You can't even compare the two. Uh, it, Anyone who says that Witcher 3 has better magic than Skyrim is a troll and does not know what the hell they're talking about because, man, the magic in Skyrim is one of the best features of the game, being able to use magic, shoot lightning, and learn spells, and shoot, like, fireballs and all this other shit. And also, I guess the dragon shouts count as magic, and the dragon shouts are great. Uh, my favorite one would be the storm call, where everyone gets electrocuted, and you could call a dragon to fight for you. And the dragon shouts and the magic spells are better than the magic elements in The Witcher 3. This is obvious. So what's another reason why Skyrim is better than The Witcher? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are four more reasons. Bear with me. So number seven reason as to why Skyrim is better than The Witcher is that you can kill random NPCs. Don't get me wrong, there's some characters that are marked as essential, like you can't kill children and you can't kill certain characters that are important to the quest line. But you know what? That's fine because if you can kill any character in the game, then the quest line's ruined and the game breaks. There's no way around that. But in The Witcher, you can't really kill any random NPCs. The only people you can kill are the enemies that the game gives you. But in Skyrim, you could be a total douchebag. You could kill random people. You could kill a random townsperson, or you could kill your follower. And people are like, well, that's not an important feature, and you're a douchebag for doing that. But you know what? If I want to be a douchebag, I should be allowed to be a douchebag in the game. Witcher, you don't really have that. Witcher, you have dialogue choices and all of those other things. But in Skyrim, you have that too, and more. You can kill random NPCs. You could actually feel like you're part of the world, unlike Witcher, where it's more like you're watching a movie than playing a game. Whether as to Skyrim, it feels like you're actually taking part in shaping the world of Skyrim and the world of Tamriel. So that's the seventh reason as to why Skyrim is better. Also, this the number 8 reason why Skyrim is better than The Witcher. Skyrim is not a goddamn porno. By God, Witcher. Every time, almost every scene in The Witcher is a sex scene. It's like you're watching a porno instead of playing a game. And I know all the neckbeards love it because that's the closest they'll ever get to getting any action. And they you know, they jerk off to all these virtual women in the game, and it's very sad, but that's what they do. Skyrim is not a porno, and that's a good thing, believe it or not. It's a very, 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 very good thing that Skyrim isn't a goddamn porno. It makes the game feel more. It just makes the game feel less vulgar and less just. It's just the sex scenes and shit in The Witcher are just unnecessary. That's the point I'm trying to make. And the fact that Skyrim isn't a fucking porno is actually a plus and not a minus. So that's number 8. Number 9, console mods. You have console mods in Skyrim. Xbox One and PS4 players, although the PS4 mods are more limited, you still have console mods. You do not have that in The Witcher. And people on the PC will be like, well, this doesn't matter to me. Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about to console players that want to choose between Skyrim and Witcher and haven't played either of the games yet. If Skyrim has mods on your platform, then that's a good reason to get it. Console mods are a good thing, and it's something that Witcher does not have. And number 10, this is a very important one. This is the 10th reason as to why Skyrim is better than The Witcher. You can play in first person. You cannot play in first person in The Witcher. You're stuck in third person. You cannot switch to first person, unlike in Skyrim, where you can alternate between third person and first person. You cannot do that in The Witcher. Now, people will be like, well, this isn't a big deal. I like third person adventures. Well, that's you. But some people like to play in first person, like me. I like playing in first person because it feels much more immersive. You're always more immersed in a game that's in first person than is in third person, because third person games feel more like an action movie than if it's first person. It feels like you're actually playing the game and you're actually part of the story and you're actually part of the experience. Unlike in third person, where there are a lot of great third person games. I'm not going to say there aren't, like GTA 5, although now there's a first person mode in GTA 5, but Red Dead Redemption, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, those kind of games, those kind of action adventure third person games are great. But the point I'm trying to make, when it comes to an RPG, being able to play in first person is a great thing to be able to do. That was part of the reason why Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas were great. If you can only play in third person, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 would probably be shit. Because let's face it, the third person gameplay in Fallout 3 and 4 aren't that great. But at least in Skyrim, you have the option to choose between first person and third person. You cannot do that in The Witcher. So those were 10 reasons why Skyrim is a better game than Witcher. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.